to Music at the Piano. Today we're looking at an instructional video over Alexander Reinagle's number 6 of the 20-something easy pieces. This is number 6. It is in C major. And so assuming that you are looking for things to talk about as a teacher or as a self-learner, I would say that this is a little more advanced than a preparatory B level in the RCM Piano Syllabus. Maybe preparatory 1, maybe level 1, heading into level 2. The left hand is different from the pieces that we've been looking at that were a little bit easier. You're looking at a left hand that is staying in the C major 5-finger pattern. And I do have a video that has that C major 5-finger pattern. I will put a link in the description. So you're looking at C, the tonic, going to the dominant. That happens a lot. And then you're having the 4th scale degree and the 5th scale degree. And that's your little cadence for the end of the first big phrase. Then you're going from the tonic to the subdominant, which is the root of the 4 chord. And then here, this is what makes it a little more complex, is he has a 2 chord, which is a minor triad. D, F, A is the minor 2 chord in the key of C major, and that has a tendency to go to a 5 chord, which would be G, B, D. Backtracking a bit, the 4 chord is F, A, C. So from measure 5, you have the tonic, the subdominant, the supertonic, the dominant, the tonic, the dominant, subdominant, dominant, tonic. In a minute, I'll show you how that could translate into the actual chords if you wanted to play around with that. So the intervals for the left hand then are bass C or C3, up a 5th, down a 5th, up a 5th, down a 5th, up a 5th. From here to here, down a 2nd, I'll space to the very next line is a 2nd, up a 2nd, down a 5th. And if you're dealing with a student who is still not really good at reading music quickly, I would go over the intervals, because reading by intervals leads you to be a faster sight reader than anything else. And you may have inherited a student who learned to read by the note names, which is going to keep them a little bit slow at reading. So here you're back to bass C, which is the repeated note, up a 4th, space note, skip a line, skip a space line. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Line note to a line note, skipping a space note is down a 3rd. This is another 4th. 2nds, 4ths, and 6ths and octaves are space note to line note or line note to space note. 3rds and 5ths and 7ths are either space note, or line note, if that helps. So C up a 4th, down a 3rd, up a 4th, down a 5th, up a 5th, and then the same cadence as the first phrase. Down a 2nd, up a 2nd, down a 5th. Okay? Now what you could do, I'll go over the right hand first, and I'll show you some things that you can do to help. There's a lot of hands together stuff going on here, so some tricks you might use to make it easier for a student to learn to do that when they get to it. So here we're at treble C, which is C5 if middle C is C4. So C up a 3rd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, up a 2nd, up a 2nd, down a 2nd, up a 3rd. So what's interesting here is so the left hand stays in the C major 5-finger pattern, but the right hand is hanging out. Your thumb has to stretch a bit. That makes it more challenging. And the notes encompass from the dominant G up to the E above treble C. So you can't stay in a simple 5-finger pattern. You have to be able to stretch your thumb, bring it back and forth. So starting over again, up a 3rd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, up a 2nd, up a 2nd, down a 2nd, up a 3rd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, down a 2nd, and here you stretch your thumb out, down a 3rd, because you can't skip a finger because you don't have enough left. Now here you're going up a 4th, you don't skip 2 fingers, you're going to skip 1 finger, but it's a 4th. And then up a 3rd, down a 2nd, which is the same as that, but then it ends differently. Down a 2nd, up a 2nd, up a 2nd, up a 2nd, down a 5th, up a 2nd, up a 2nd. Now, these 2 bars are just like those 2 bars. But this phrase starts differently from this phrase. Up a second, down a second, down a second, down a second, repeat. Up a fourth to D, up a second, down a second, down a second, down a second, repeat. Up a second, up a third, down a second, down a second, down a second, up a second, up a second, up a second, down a fifth, up a second. So I would do the intervallic reading first. Then if you want to drill your student on note names, you can do that. You know, C, E, D, C, or you could do it solfege. I'm going to focus on hands together techniques, and you can probably work the solfege out for yourself because it's so stepwise. So then if you have a student whose rhythm hasn't really grown to this level yet, you might want to point to the rhythm of the right hand and clap that rhythm alone. And then when you want to put it hands together, you might first of all have them clap one hand's rhythm while you clap the others, and then switch parts. And then when they get past that, which you can figure out how to do that without me showing you, then you can have them tap the right hand rhythm while they play the left hand rhythm. And I'm going to demonstrate that by moving the camera a little bit further back. And you probably can see, well, I don't think you can see the coffee stains on my trousers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and second half, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can have them play the right hand after they've learned to play the right hand and tap the left hand. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Another technique that you could use is to have them play the first note of each measure hands together, like this. And then count it for 4 counts while their eye looks at the rest of the measure, but they don't play it. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna be surprisingly boring. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it gets less boring. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so they might be surprised to see how much of it is really the same. Then have them play beats 1 and 3, just because of the rhythm that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might use a pencil. When you use a pencil, point above the notes. When I use a pencil, I point below the notes because I find that when it comes out better in the video. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then another trick is to have them, when they put it all hands together, start at the end. So to make this video not be too long, I'm going to do 2 bars at a time. So I'll go slowly, hopefully. So you might do 1 bar at a time and just go like that, but I'm going to go 2 bars at a time. So when they've accomplished that, then add 1 or 2 more bars. I'll do all 4 bars here. And what you will find is that the end gets better and better because they're practicing it more. Then we'll add these 2 bars. Oops, just kidding. Well, that wasn't really necessary because it's already there. So then here's the whole piece. I'll do the whole piece one more time, but you get the idea. So Instead of doing different dynamics for each repeat, I decided, since Mr. Reinagle didn't give us any, he might have been dealing with a lot of people who still used harpsichords back in his time. I decided that we're going to start mezzo forte, then we'll drop to mezzo piano, have a crescendo here with this rising line to a mezzo forte, and that will repeat. And then we'll start less, mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte, and a nice big finish. Wish me luck. I think this is really worth learning. It's going to teach students a lot of different skills and get them ready for probably level 2 and level 3 pieces. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, as it helps other teachers and self-learners find these videos.